In today's news, Soggy Dollar Bar named Best in Caribbean. Education to be reimagined in the BVI with several S.T.E.A.M initiatives set for 2023. Irresponsible dumping on Anegada vexing several residents. And Crabbe Herbert calls for more investment for youth and education. Of viewers, these and more stories when 284 News return.
There are many ways to enjoy life. Like so many ways to count on popular.
Hun, it's asking for your password.
Huh?
You were logged out. I need the password.
BR.
What's the rest?
BRANDI, the number 4, EVER?
Who's Brandy?
We're like the password that isn't your ex-girlfriend's name. CG Insurance. Good like that.
I should have changed it.
You should have.
You're right.
Freeze. Choose your mix. Choose your flavor.
Welcome viewers to the Tuesday, January 10th edition of 284 News. I am Kamal Haynes, bringing you the latest out of the British Virgin Islands. While leading today's news, 4 sites in the territory have been ranked among the best in the Caribbean in the 2023 Caribbean Readers' Choice Awards. But the BVI Tourist Board welcomed the news in a statement on Tuesday.
The British Virgin Islands featured prominently among islands recognized in the 2023 Caribbean Readers' Choice Awards conducted by USA Today. The annual 10 Best Awards feature 20 nominees selected by USA Today's panel of travel experts and selected after a voting period allowing readers to have their say on the top 10 from the nominee list. Categories usually include food, lodging, destinations, and other travel-related categories. This year, the BVI was successful in being featured in the top 10 for the categories of Best Caribbean Attraction, Best Caribbean Beach Bar, and Best Caribbean Rum Distillery. These features included the territory's Soggy Dollar Bar on Just Van Dyke, taking the #1 spot for Best Caribbean Beach Bar. Hendo's Hideout, also on Just Van Dyke, featured on the same list, taking in the #4 spot. In the Best Caribbean Attraction category, the Baffs National Park in Virgin Gorda came in at #8. And for the Best Caribbean Rum Distillery, the Colwood Rum Distillery on Tortola was also voted #8. The Virgin Islands Tourist Board welcomed the news in a press release, which included a statement from Director for Tourism Clive McCoy. "We are honored to receive this coveted recognition from USA Today and its voters," he said. "The Caribbean's beach bars, attractions, and rum distilleries are among the best in the world. We are proud to be ranked in the top 10 regionally in those categories. Congratulations to our award-winning tourism industry partners," McCoy added. For 284 News, I am Jacques Wooding.
Moving on, viewers, where the Ministry of Education has endeavored to reimagine education in the BVI, which is in line with their theme for the 2022-2023 school year, Virgin Islands Education Moving Full Steam Ahead. Minister for Education, Honorable Shari De Castro, at a press conference recently said that STEAM, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Mathematics, provides a new approach to teaching and focuses on the development of creativity, innovation, critical thinking, problem-solving, collaboration, and communication within students and teachers. But she described those skills as being extremely important in the 21st century as she announced plans to have a number of initiatives rolled out in 2023 to follow the success of the Innovation Week event that was held back in November 2022.
Students, teachers, parents, and other community members were able to experience what learning looks like through the arts, robotics, engineering, and other key areas. We look forward to hosting other key activities during the course of this school year, namely the National Science Fair in March. Training sessions have been conducted for teachers and funding has been allocated to procure the much-needed STEAM supplies that would seek to endeavor to propel this initiative forward.
De Castro also provided details on a program that will be rolled out at Elmore Stout High School earlier this year.
A pilot program called Innovation Hour will be rolled out at the Elmore Stout High School by the end of the first quarter. This program is intended to expose students to robotics, engineering, arts, artificial intelligence, and other tenets of STEAM. Teachers, of course, will continue to receive training ahead of its implementation, and we have ensured that an education officer has been tasked with developing the ministry's plan for the full rollout of STEAM, of course, along with a comprehensive policy to support it.
The education minister said another priority on her list is the reviewing of the school's existing curriculum, which she said is important to ensure that it aligns with the tenets of STEAM education.
This includes what subjects are offered, what topics are covered, and at what developmental stage, which strategies are used, as well as a shift in focus from content knowledge to the application of 21st century skills. The last curriculum review in the Virgin Islands was done in 2007. Therefore, we are long overdue for a review, which will commence this year as the requisite funding has been provided in the 2023 budget. Also integral to this is the mandate to provide modern and effective resources for all schools in the territory, inclusive of early childhood, languages, mathematics, science, technical subjects, music, art, physical education, and special education. This is because as a government, we strongly believe that our schools must be fully equipped with the necessary resources in order to facilitate teaching and learning effectively. Hence, funding is now available to provide these educational manipulatives and teaching aids for all subject areas. Therefore, students who are kinesthetic, visual, auditory, solitary, social, verbal, or logical learners will be equipped with the much-needed resources in our classroom in order to diversify the delivery of instruction to achieve optimal learning.
The minister also updated the public on the Education Act, stating that it is now in its final stages of completion.
A number of policies, such as the Early Childhood Education Policy, the Special Education Policy, Promotion, Placement, and Retention Policy, Graduation Requirements, STEAM Policy, a Curriculum Policy, Professional Standards for Educators, and an update on the Discipline Policy and Student Code of Conduct are being created or amended to support the transformation of education in the territory. This school year.
Well, up next, irresponsible dumping on Anegada vexing several residents, and Crabbe Herbert calls for more investment for youth and education. But these and more stories after a word from our sponsors.
That's out. That's 6. That's out.
With worldwide medical coverage and affordable premiums, we're like a home match that isn't played at your actual home. CG Insurance. Good like that.
My turn. Oh, come on, guys.
There are many ways to enjoy life, like so many ways to count on popular.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny Boy, come, yes, Sonny.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny Boy. Hold on there. You must have cut front of people.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man, take care of me.
How may I assist you?
Yes.
You want top of power?
You want top of power? Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top up or what?
Welcome back, viewers. But the disregard of some residents on Anegada as it relates to the proper dumping of garbage at the dump site on the sister island continues to anger a number of residents. Well, the most recent occurrence was on Friday, January 6th, after a resident left large pieces of a cut tree at the entrance of the pathway to the dump. Well, 284 News interviewed resident Kelly Faulkner, who was one of the persons affected from the poorly disposed waste after traveling to the site early on Friday.
The dump had a little access to get in for folks to dump their trash. Even if it's a local entity that's going in and do it themselves, or it's a personal, like somebody's personal trash is going in to dump it. There was always a little interest that you could be able to do that and turn around. Even if you got to reverse, there's still a way out, right? But yesterday when I went to go dump my trash, I realized that somebody put a pile of trees in front of the little access way that leads to that clearance that you could dump your trash as a person such as myself. But now, them blocking it, they only insisted on blocking it even more so today. Because from what I understand this morning, there was there's some guys chopping some trees and some bushes, loaded in a truck, and they have a brilliant idea to dump it in front of the entrance. Mind you, it's already a tight situation with the trash, and I don't know how it made sense to dump that kind of bulky debris, like right in the way of the entrance.
Faulkner said the issue is one that has been ongoing for several years, with some residents willfully disposing of their garbage as they please without consideration of others who also have to use the dump site. He said the government cannot be blamed for this particular issue, as it is the responsibility of each resident to dump their waste products responsibly and with due consideration to their fellow resident.
The solid waste department, they came in, they gave people even little contracts to try to put up fencing, so there's proper organization, yada, 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 but nothing gets done. They put up the fencing, and then people go in, they dump their load, and I always say that we can't just look at the government for this problem. We have to look at ourselves as a community, because if you know, you're going to go dump your trash and you see there's there's only a certain way you could get in, or you don't want to block up the entrance more. I have personally got out with my bags and walked it in a bit and then toss it, out the way. So people could do better in the situation as a community and not look to attack and blame the government.
Faulkner also provided a recommendation he believed that the government should consider to best mitigate the issue.
If the government, was able to adjust the situation like swiftly as they should have been fixed from years ago, you would have a solid waste employee. There's actually one on the island that collects trash every day, every morning. I say to the fact that instead of hiring him part-time to pick up trash in the early mornings or whatever, give him a full-time job, have him stationed at the dump, in a little booth. So when people come in, he's able to proper direct and deal with the situation at hand.
Well, 284 News also reached out to District Representative Honorable Vincent Wheatley, who was aware of the issue. Well, he said he had already reached out to the respective authorities who informed him of their plans to have the dump site cleared, which was done and completed over the weekend.
It was first brought to my attention, I think, via video on Facebook. I think I saw it must have been Thursday, either Thursday or Friday morning, but I had some meetings already pre-arranged. So on Saturday, as early as I can, I took a trip over to Anegada to understand exactly what the real issue was. What had happened apparently is that somebody dumped a lot of bush and so forth at the entrance to the dump, thereby blocking access to the dump site. I immediately called Mr. Allen of Solid Waste, under whose jurisdiction the garbage falls, and he assured me that by Sunday he'll have a gentleman over there. I'm sure he probably saw the same thing in the chat, but he would have a gentleman over there to get the machine to clear the dump so access is gained, and to also to organize the dump in a proper manner.
Wheatley also addressed the recommendation from Faulkner of having someone stationed at the dump site. Well, he said while it may not be possible at this present moment, it is one that will be looked into.
His plan going forward is to have the dump cleared at least twice a month on a regular basis. I'm not sure at this point we can station someone at the dump at this particular point in time, but it's something we naturally have to look at. I've said before and I will say again, my opinion is Anegada is too pristine an island to have open air burning. So we must move at haste towards either incineration, which is not the best thing, but the next best thing. But ideally, I would like a situation like Joss Van Dyke, where the garbage is barged from Anegada to Parkwood Pond for incineration. Now, we look at a proposal some time back, but it was incredibly expensive to do. So I cannot say something I would like to see happen, but I cannot say exactly when this would happen.
Moving on, viewers, where Premier Dr. the Honorable Natalia Wheatley and Minister for Education, Honorable Shari De Castro, were both taken to task as contractors took center stage at the opening ceremony of the Elmore Stout High School. Well, among things sought were better educational planning and more consistent support for young athletes. One more in this report.
Don Crabbe Herbert of Otland Heavy Equipment Limited has aired her views on some necessary developments which need to take place beyond infrastructure to best position the territory's youth to lead a life of excellence. Herbert spoke at the opening ceremony of the Elmore Stout High School and made sure that the territory's administrative leaders left with homework that day. She first addressed Education Minister Honorable Shari De Castro and urged that, among other things, steps be taken to ensure that Virgin Islands history is a mandatory aspect of learning experiences in the territory schools.
Honorable Shari De Castro, Minister responsible for education, culture, youth affairs and sports. Today, we charge you as part of our generation to ensure this privilege continues. These buildings are just a symbol of our capacity and our abilities. Coming out of what these buildings must produce, industry leaders that understand what this privilege means. The understanding of hard work that is needed to succeed. To fall is not to fail, but the building of the muscles needed for their journey. Teaching them that our blessings came from our service to others and our faith in God. And lastly, Honorable De Castro, not forgetting to ensure all Virgin Islands history is taught and experienced in our schools by mandatory participation, so we do not forget who we are and where we have come from.
Crabbe Herbert then turned her attention to Premier Dr. the Honorable Natalia Wheatley, who she charged for the territory's development and maintenance, as well as better planning and financial support for the education sector.
Dr. the Honorable Natalia Wheatley, Premier and Minister responsible for all finances and the leadership of this territory. Today, we charge you for our sustainability of this territory's future. The support of our education is the uttermost important. It is the foundation of all things in this territory. We have been caught up for so long with everything around us that we have not paid enough attention to our educational planning. We ask for more financial support for our education, for our youth affairs and sports, as these are the foundations for which this territory needs to thrive for all other industries.
Additionally, she asked that the Premier and the wider community show greater support for the territory's athletes and get more involved in the rigorous training periods which have allowed them to excel on the regional and international stage.
The culture of service we have developed at Virgin Islanders has kept our sports program thriving for years. BVI Athletic Association begins their season on Saturday the 7th of January at 2 p.m. This institution of learning produces some of the top student athletes that represent our shores. Where is our government's dedication in this journey? What has been given is truly appreciated, but there is room for much more. Your presence for support, not just at awards, but during the journey in which these athletes and coaches need. More financial support in preparation of these Virgin Islands athletes in all the sports. Get more involved. I'm going to say that again. Please get more involved. Come out. We want to see you. Be there when they're falling, when they're crying, when they're struggling to represent us on the platforms that are to come.
Later on in the ceremony, Honorable Sherry De Castro lauded Crabbe Herbert for her contribution that day and said that she shared similar sentiments, that these additional measures will assist in the holistic development of the territory's children. For 284 News, I am Jacko Whitting.
Well, up next, Rotary Club once again hosting their Grand Affair fundraiser, and Governor Bryan Jr. precluded from swearing-in ceremony. With these and more stories, when 284 News return.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What do you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What do you really? Hey, this thing like you know.
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out that trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Well, welcome back, viewers, and thank you so much for sticking with us. But the Rotary Club of Tortola announced their signature fundraising event, the Grand Affair, which is returning for the first time since 2016. The club is thrilled to once again be hosting this event in keeping with the Rotary's objective of helping humanity and making an impact on the BVI community.
More than 20 years old, we've been raising these funds, and it's really a grand affair. It's not only our signature project, but it is a project that involves the whole community for a number of reasons. It is only because of the community that we have been successful over the years, as you've been saying. The community gives to the Grand Affair in terms of not only purchasing tickets, but providing the items that are on auction. And we have 2 auctions. We have a silent auction, and we have a live auction where we have what we call wow and super wow, really wow items that we'll talk about a little further. This a little later on. This year the theme is Havana Nights, And we are delighted that His Excellency the Governor has agreed to be our host for the grand affair.
The glamorous dinner and auction will be held on March 25th, 2023 at Government House under the distinguished patronage of His Excellency Governor John Rankin, CMG.
A little less than 3 months to prepare, but today is already the 10th of March. The time is 10th of January. Sorry, the time is really running along. So it's not too soon for us to start talking about it. We are going to concentrate this year on 2 beneficiaries, if you want to put it that way. We are going to concentrate one on the youth empowerment program, that is YEP, and we hope to establish another center in Road Town. When I say establish, it doesn't necessarily mean building a building, but certainly we want to have another center in Road Town, and we have been given the requisite permission to proceed. And the other one is to improve cancer treatment. Abby, I think that's how we're putting it. Cancer treatment and prevention. We have always worked, as has been said earlier, with the Health Services Authority. The D.O. Smith Hospital has been the recipient of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in the past from the Rotary Club of Tortola, and we have also given substantially to the Iris O'Neill Clinic. So the Health Services Authority is one of our partners, so we are delighted to contribute in this fashion. And yes, we raised as much as $350,000.
Well, this year's causes are geared towards improving access to cancer prevention and treatment measures, as well as focusing on youth, specifically raising funds to expand the youth empowerment program into another area of the territory.
Years ago, it's now 15 years old, years ago that cost $1.5 million, 15 years ago, just the whole program, the construction and the staffing and everything. So it's not cheap to support our young people. So if we're going to start a program, in fact, we spent up to $75,000 during the summer. Yes, we put $50,000 in, but there was more money coming from other sources. Just for that summer, what was 6 weeks or thereabouts. And so it's pretty expensive. If we're going to put money into, as I said, we haven't decided whether it's going to be construction or whether we're going to rent and have the program. It's going to cost us some money. We have some money. We've raised money over the years, as has been said.
Well, viewers, that was past president of the Rotary Club of Tortola, Mrs. Lorna Smith. Now, moving on to some regional news, Governor Bryan Jr. was unable to attend the swearing-in ceremony of the 35th Legislature of the United States Virgin Islands this past Monday after testing positive for COVID-19. But this was revealed by Government House that same day. Although he was physically absent, Governor Bryan ensured that his presence was felt by sending a letter to the newly sworn-in senators, congratulating them and expressing his desire to work collaboratively with them all to build, and I quote, stronger families, more robust infrastructure, and a stronger U.S. Virgin Islands, end quote. Well, he also said, while the challenges that lie ahead are significant, I am confident in this body's ability and that of our administration to make a positive impact while confronting these challenges, end quote. But despite the positive COVID-19 result, Bryan is said to have mild symptoms and to be in good spirits. Well, viewers, that's it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com and like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Kamal Haynes, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a safe and enjoyable evening. Bye-bye.